Previously on Saratoga Lights.
Do you want to join me for lunch? The Whippoorwill has a tuna melt to die for.
I'll be there.
Need to go see a man about God. Trying to figure out what he really believes in.
Your friend stopped by today. Nathan, I think his name was.
I don't know a Nathan.
Well, he seemed to know you.
Dad said we had to use the wheels that God gave us.
We could start over. Somewhere new.
This is home.
Saratoga Lights, Season 3, Episode 6, Baptism. At the Whippoorwill Diner, a small grease trap just outside of town, the 1 cup of coffee agreed upon by Bonnie and Becky has now ballooned to 3.
Yeah? Well, maybe I should have listened to you.
That's what I was driving at this whole time.
Okay, but where were you when I needed you? And hindsight is 20/20, right? Now I know how stupid I was, but in the moment, I don't know. It was fun.
Sounds like an adventure.
Yeah. I came back home once Mom told me about the cancer. We didn't talk about what happened in Dallas. How many years has it been since your daughter passed?
7.
It doesn't get any easier, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I wish I had been a better daughter to her when I had the chance.
Can't dwell on that stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Can drive yourself crazy wondering, what if? What if I had been more involved? What if the doctor found it sooner? What if your husband hadn't been...
Sleeping. He worked graveyard at the time.
Right. Sleeping. What if he hadn't been sleeping and was watching her? We can't dwell on that stuff.
It was an accident.
You would have liked my mom. If she saw me here getting regretful, she'd say, "Bertie, stop your pity party. All that crying's gonna lead to more wrinkles." She had a real way with words.
Bonnie drops her mug back to the counter and sobs,
Oh.
doing her best to suppress it.
Bonnie, what's wrong?
I wasn't there. I should have been there.
Hey, it's not your fault.
She hugs Bonnie.
It's gonna be okay. Like you said, we can't dwell on that stuff. Nothing good comes from it.
I don't know how.
I don't either, but we'll figure it out together, okay?
A couple of miles southeast, in a small clearing of the piney woods, the sun is blistering Sanford's neck as he double-checks his work, driven by some nagging fear that he misread a previous angle. As a result, his progress of the day has been severely slowed. Sanford starts moving to his next coordinate and feels his boot depress something soft in the otherwise brittle and unforgiving ground. He looks down and sees what remains of an apple underfoot, rotten and oozing with the black tar of decay. He hears footsteps slowly approach from behind.
You're really making a habit out of this.
Hearing no response, he turns to see that it's not Arthur, as he had expected, but Nathan, standing only a few yards away. Sanford observes the stranger, his face cracked and weathering, almost as severe as the pine trees that surround the 2 men.
Sorry, thought you were someone else.
It's only you and me out here.
It would appear so.
Nathan takes off his hat and starts fanning himself, feigning a smile as he looks at the trees above and listens to the forest around him.
Peaceful.
Do I know you?
Not yet.
Well then, if you don't mind, mister, I'm gonna get back to my business.
Speaking of business, I met your wife the other day. Bonnie? Tried to talk to her about some business. She was rather inhospitable.
My wife's debts are her own, and frankly, not any of my concern. So I'd appreciate it if you and any other of you goons from the bank would leave me be.
The bank? Oh, why would I be all the way out here if I was with the bank? I'd be sitting pretty, nice leather chair, keeping cool under a fan, were I with the bank.
Nathan puts his hat back on and slowly moves closer to Sanford, the earthen floor crunching underneath each step.
No, sir. I'm here for you. Timber companies hired me to protect their interests and to ensure they get their fair shake when everything's said and done with the feds.
You the one that ransacked Arthur's place?
Took some convincing, but a little art came around to my way of thinking. I expect you'll do the same.
They're now within reaching distance of each other. Sanford can smell the putrid breath of this stranger, his gums evidence of neglect.
So what do you want?
Quit.
The committee will just keep contracting more people until they vote on the new boundaries.
Oh, committees, banks, all those white-collar folks, they don't really care about the workers, the little guys like you and me. Your line of work is becoming more and more hazardous, and it's about time you start thinking about that. I'm sure your wife would agree. Wouldn't want anything unfortunate to happen to either of you.
Sanford takes a swing at the man, but Nathan dodges the punch without much effort. Instead, he uses the momentum to throw Sanford to the ground before swiftly cracking him between the eyes with the butt of his revolver. Sanford falls back on the ground, blood pouring from his face.
You don't have a stomach for this fight, friend. You best get with the program.
Nathan cleans the gun against his person before holstering the weapon in the waist of that bloodied denim, leaving Sanford to nurse his wound. After he gathers his senses and stumbles the 2 miles back to his house, Sanford gathers the reports he had generated up to date, along with the supporting data and maps he had so meticulously documented, and seals them all up in a mailing tube to be hand-delivered to the post office tomorrow morning. From the attic, Sanford retrieves a handful of bills from the ammo box, making sure to return the box to its hiding place behind the insulation, and jumps back to the floor in a tizzy, folding the stairs back up to the ceiling.
What were you doing in the attic?
As he released the cord and watched the steps do one final bounce against the sheetrock before coming to a complete rest, Bonnie appeared behind him with the query, her voice quiet but firm. Sanford does his best to hide the surprise on his face.
That cat got stuck up there again. I was trying to get her down.
What happened to your face?
Sanford forgot about the physical appearance of his face,
I tripped on some old buried wire.
an oversight made even more obvious as the blood started dripping from his nose. He plugs it up with his hand and rushes to the bathroom behind him, locking the door. Bonnie hears the bathroom faucet turn on and looks down at the trail of blood leading to the bathroom, the large splotches of red marring the off-white vinyl floor. She grabs a rag from the kitchen and gets down on her hands and knees to wipe up the blood. Once every drop was tended to, she stands and her eyes slowly rise to the attic door above her. She looks forward at the bathroom door, still closed, still locked. She looks back up at the attic. It calls to her. She has to know. She slowly reaches for the cord that's hanging down. Her hand grips it, but the unmistakable sound of the bathroom lock disengaging hits her ears. Bonnie instantly releases the cord and returns to the kitchen. Sanford stands in the doorway of the bathroom, watching her wring out the bloody rag at the sink, with some toilet paper jammed up his nose to clot the blood flow. Bonnie is soaking in her clawfoot tub in a brightly lit room. Bubbles cover the surface, with only her knees and head exposed. Aside from the occasional drip of water, the room is silent. She looks at one of her knees and reaches out to feel the drops of water resting on it. She misses human contact. She misses human connection. She's all but forgotten what it feels like to be loved, to be held. She used to save his side of the bed, hoping one night that he'd come back. But now she just pulls the covers over her head, trying to keep warm. Bonnie looks over to the bathroom door and sees the handle turn. Sanford enters the room and sits on the only seat available, the toilet. He looks over to her. Their faces are stone, not wanting to give any part of themselves away anymore. Sanford turns away again and crosses his legs as he begins to reminisce.
Remember when Louise broke her leg?
Of course she remembers.
Yes?
Of all the memories I have, I visit that one often.
I was panicked.
You were panicked. I still have this scar from stumbling off the porch.
Sanford holds up his elbow and points to Bonnie, revealing a small scar about an inch in length.
I always assumed that some instinct would take over in an emergency, and I would know exactly what to do. You stopped at every Dairy Queen on the way to get her ice cream or some other frozen treat.
He grins at the thought.
Hospital thought we got lost. Took us so long.
She played you like a freshly tuned guitar.
Gave us an excuse to skip church that evening.
You never needed an excuse.
It even got us on the prayer list.
Bonnie lets out a laugh, involuntarily, the same way his humor used to catch her off guard, before stifling it. Sanford revels in the thought that he can still make her laugh, but the hint of a smile on his face fades away as the pernicious nature of memory reveals itself as an entry to a deep, deep wound.
I was so furious when I heard her yelling outside, interrupting whatever the hell I was doing. I ignored her, and then finally got up off my lazy butt to get onto her for causing such a ruckus. And once outside, I saw her lying there by the trampoline, helpless, crying, pleading for someone to save her. I was such a fool.
Yeah, you were, she thinks to herself. She wants to say it. She wants to speak her regrets and failures and frustrations, but she doesn't. She holds it all in.
Can I get some privacy, please?
Sanford uncrosses his legs and stands, lingering for a moment too long as he processes her request and the underlying message behind it. The last vestige of their familiarity had finally been extinguished. With nothing left to say, Sanford leaves. Bonnie watches the door close and settles back into her watery tomb. This was in Texas. Saratoga Lights is written and directed by Randall LaRue. Audio recording and engineering by Matthew David Rudd. Music by Randy Reynolds. This episode features the voice talents of Caitlin Elizabeth, Heath Allen, Brian Villalobos, Brenna Thornton, and Matthew David Rudd. Until next time.
Excuse me.